Fab vlog. My name is Millie, aka Sober Girl Society.
And my name's Scott, aka the boy who drank too much.
And together we are Ab Fab, which is A for alcohol.
F for free.
And together, absolutely fabulous. That was cringe. We think we're the Patsy and Adina of sobriety.
Of sobriety, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
we're.
Patsy.
Fine.
So we've had a great response around our Instagram lives over the last couple of weeks, and we wanted to make sure that we've got some more content available, which is why we've created this vlog, so that it doesn't expire after 24 hours and you can access all of our tips and tricks for sobriety whenever you want them.
So you guys are constantly asking us what we're drinking. So we thought the best thing to do is every week we're going to show you our drink of the week and we're going to drink it throughout the vlog and give you our honest reviews on it. Actually going to start with
Chilio!
We are actually both very big fans of the brand. This isn't sponsored, it's not an ad, we just really like it.
Yeah.
So this actually comes in 3 flavours. So I'm drinking the pineapple, coconut and lime.
I'm drinking the pink grapefruit and ginger, and the other one I can't find, so...
I think it's watermelon, isn't it?
Yeah, watermelon,
Yeah.
something.
The idea behind Chilio is the fact that it's got the sort of chilli element to it, makes it spicy and gives it the kick to, you know, that you feel like you've got a proper drink. So that's why we really like it. I think you don't really need to mix them with anything.
No, I wouldn't.
They're really nice on their own. They are a little bit spicy, so if you don't like spice, no chilli.
I'm a complete wuss when it comes to spicy stuff, and I can handle this, so it's not too
There
bad.
we
So
go.
don't worry about that. I'm a mango and lime kind of guy at Nando's, so yeah, don't worry.
I think mango and lime is actually spicier.
Controversial.
TBC, let us know what you think.
So yeah, we thought that we'd start by doing an introduction of individually of who we are, because some of you might not know, some of you might have just come across this vlog on YouTube, but if you are not new to our story, then you just get to hear it all over again. So should we start with you?
We can do. I was a very party girl, would you have guessed? Binge drinker. I wasn't, you know, waking up and drinking at 10 AM. I wasn't really drinking that much in the week, but I was a big binge drinker. So I would go out on a Friday, I'd go out on a Saturday, I'd be very hungover all of Sunday. And I started to get really bad sort of beer fear, anxiety. That kind of crept into Monday, Tuesday, rather than just a weekend thing. And I just got into a really sort of like bad honestly. So I got into a really bad place with my drinking. I got into a bit of a cycle. I was really unhappy. I would sort of drink because I wasn't happy, then I would get even unhappier, and then I would drink again, and I got into that real sort of cyclical behaviour. I kind of pinpointed all the things that I was unhappy with. So I wasn't productive, I wasn't sort of excelling in my career, my relationships were breaking down. So I thought, what would life be like if I gave it up? And I did, and I've never looked back. So I'm currently sober since February 2018, so about 13, coming up to 14 months now.
Well done.
Thanks.
14 months, that's such an achievement.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
14 months, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm definitely not 14 months, I'm only 5 months, but still.
Does it? Dates do not matter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my story is probably a little bit more aligned to the alcoholic side of problem drinking, or people with problems around alcohol. I think from a really kind of young age, kind of 17, 18, I didn't have the best relationship with alcohol, and I always drank to get drunk. There was never... I always used to say, actually, what's the point in drinking if you're not going to get drunk? That was actually one of the things that I would quite commonly say. And I think a lot of people could probably align themselves to that. And yeah, over the years, it just kind of got progressively worse. And depending on what situation I was in, it would either get really, really bad, or if I was around the right people, I'd maybe not drink as much, depending on, like I said, who was around me. I came out of a relationship in the end of 2017, and that relationship had probably, whilst it was relatively a good relationship, there was a lot of alcohol involved in that relationship, and I think by the time I left, I definitely had come to the realisation that I didn't want to be this version of me that was either hungover or drunk all the time, or both. It took me kind of another year really to get to a point where I was ready to give up, mainly because there was a lot of kind of mental preparation and kind of planning around how I was going to tell my family and my friends and how I was going to navigate a life that meant that I was sober, and was I an alcoholic, was I not an alcoholic, all these different questions that I still didn't have answers to. In October last year, I decided that enough was enough. And I'd originally planned to stop officially on the 1st of January as part of my like new year, new me bullshit, and yeah, I went out the first week in October just like once, and I got so drunk and I broke my phone,
which is now fixed,
which I've only just fixed this week. There's a little present to myself 5 months in. Yeah, it was time, it was definitely time, and I woke up the next morning after that particular night, and it was without fail the worst hangover I've ever had. I don't even think I went into work the next day, and that was...
Oh, this was a weeknight?
Oh yeah, it was a weeknight. It was a Thursday. No, it wasn't a Thursday. It was a Tuesday. It was quite early in the week. Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't do things by halves. It didn't matter whether it was a weekend or a weekday or yeah. Absolutely no worries. I'd definitely be up to the task in hand and drink myself into oblivion. That was it. From that day, I just knew that was my relationship with alcohol over, and it was time to start a new chapter in my life that didn't have the wine witch or whatever you want to call it in your life. So here I am, 5 months later.
We're here.
We're here.
We made it. And we're really, really happy that you're here with us on this journey, whether you're sober, whether you're sober curious, whether you're a week in, whether you've been sober your whole life, whether you do it because, you love the gym or you have digestive health problems. We don't care why you're sober. It's great that you are sober, and it's great that you're here. So everyone is welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. How is your chilio?
It's very good. I actually did
good,
forget how much I do like this one. I'll be honest, I'm not really a fan of the other two flavours, but this one specifically is very, very good. Kind of quite good that we're filming this on a Sunday morning, and it reminds me a little bit of a Bloody Mary.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm quite pleased.
Good.
How's yours?
Yeah, I really like it actually. It's very coconutty.
Yeah.
Which I really
Bit like Malibu.
actually. Yeah, it is a little bit. I don't think I can taste the lime as much, but yeah, it's really lovely. Got 34 calories. Healthy. Your teeth look so white.
I know, it's just that's
So
why
white.
I was doing it. Colgate, come at me.
We were going to talk about something that's in the news surrounding alcohol. So this week we found a great story about Demi Lovato. So for anyone who doesn't know, the singer Demi Lovato has had problems with alcohol and narcotics most of her life, and she recently relapsed last year. She's come out this week to say that if she hadn't have relapsed, she would be 7 years sober. This is a subject that we kind of talk about quite a lot. Yeah. What sobriety means to you, and does a relapse mean that you start from the beginning? Where does a relapse put you in sobriety? So I know Scott has some great insights on this.
Yeah, I think for me, Demi's kind of relapse last year was obviously a big shock, and everyone's kind of really behind her in her recovery, and always has been, and she's got a massive following of people out there, and I think she's a really good role model around kind of alcohol and narcotics in general. Obviously the relapse is the relapse, but she does speak very openly about her sobriety, and I think that's probably first and foremost what we should remember here. She's a trailblazer for younger generations of people that struggle with alcohol, or know people that struggle with alcohol and narcotics. I think for me, the relapse is obviously an unfortunate thing, and there must have been a reason that kind of led her to get to where she got to. I had a situation recently where I'd taken a sip of gin without knowing that it was in there, and for the initial kind of 10 to 15 minutes afterwards, I was really, really upset, and I actually left the event that I was at because I was so concerned and kind of thought that it had broken my sobriety. And whilst I totally acknowledge that this is very different in that this was a totally accidental situation, and it sounds like Demi did actually seek out the narcotics or alcohol, whichever it was that she went for, and I know that they are totally different things. For me, the sobriety is about how you pick yourself back up from those situations. So whilst I didn't actively go out for that drink knowing that I was going to put myself into a relapse situation, it did still hurt me, and it did still upset me, because I've worked so hard to not have alcohol, and at that moment I did, and it was quite hard to take. But I posted about it recently on The Boy Who Drank Too Much, and kind of said my reaction and how strong my reaction was, and the emotional kind of backlash that I got that I'd had gin, was just so worrying. And I think that that's the bit that we need to focus on with sobriety. And whilst it's not ideal and that Demi relapsed, she should really obviously focus, and she has acknowledged on her story that she does still have 6 years under her belt, and those can't be discredited just because of a mistake. And I think she actually says on the story, you need to acknowledge that a mistake is exactly that, it's a mistake. And we make them every day, and I just hope that she is back on the road to recovery, and that she's doing well now.
I think that's really important. I think you can't discredit the days that you do have under your belt. I mean, if you want to count days, but in some ways I don't actually think it's that beneficial. It's nice to celebrate those milestones, but I think if you do relapse, then you just feel a bit crappy about those dates that you feel like you've wasted. But it's never a waste because you're preparing yourself. It's just like a marathon, I think. Sometimes when you train for a marathon, you know, you start with a mile and then you stop, and then you do 2 miles, and then you keep pushing yourself, and eventually you get to that point where you think, I can run this marathon because I've had all this training. So everything you're doing is going towards this goal, so it's not wasted time. Don't think, oh my god, I've started back to the beginning, because you've mentally trained yourself to go those distances.
Don't discredit yourself for all of the amazing work that you've done so far. I'm sure that there are thousands and thousands of people out there that have relapsed, and that particular relapse might have been their last one. So just make sure that you keep going, surround yourself with the right people, get the help 100%. That you need. If you need to go to a therapist, or if you haven't been to AA or NA in a long time and that's what you normally do, then get yourself back to a meeting, do all of the things that you know that can help you.
Sobriety is a journey, not a destination.
Oh, nice. Did you just make that up?
No, I've read it somewhere. I think it's true though. I think it's not a place that you need to get to. It's not once you're there, yeah, I've made it. It's constant. It's a constant thing. You keep going. It's all about the journey. It's all about the ups and the downs. It's like life.
And there are ups and there are downs, definitely, as we can both testify to.
Testify.
Testify.
We will be talking about this more, of course, the ups and the downsides of sobriety. It is a lot of glitz and glamour. It is also not.
Did you point at me when you said that?
What? It's also not. No, I said it's also not.
Oh, okay.
I'm the glitz.
I'm the glamour.
Yeah, we're both going to be very honest about our journeys. We think if we're honest with you, you can be honest with us. Send us your questions, send us your feedback. We want to know. We also found another story of the week, which we thought was very interesting, is that...
So there's a guy in Pittsburgh called Sober who was arrested for drink driving. Obviously not funny that he was drink driving, but still a bit ironic that his name was Sober.
But because that is not the funny story, after we found this story, we found out that there are also some other very ironic arrests.
So there's a guy named Thomas Bacon who was charged in a fight over a sausage.
I like the last one as well.
And then there was Donald Popadick, who pleaded guilty to a count of mischief after jogging naked in Ottawa, Canada. Interesting.
We've asked you to get in touch with us for our Q&A section of the vlog. The vlog. And we've had a couple of great questions come in. So our first question is...
how did your family respond when you told them that you were going to be sober? Do you want to answer that one first?
Yeah, I think my family... I think it's been the same reaction unanimously with all my friends and family, that initially when I told them, they thought that I was not necessarily joking, but we've all been there where we've been so hungover, we've said, I'm never drinking again. And I said... I'm never drinking again. And they said, okay, sure, we've had that one before. We know that you will. And I think it took them maybe a few months to realise I was deadly serious. But their initial reaction wasn't, oh my God, that's amazing. So don't expect that reaction from everyone, because I genuinely don't think, and I do have the most supportive friends and the most supportive family, but that initial telling them, they weren't throwing me a party, which I was really upset about.
It's really funny that you say that, because that's exactly what I thought was going to happen in my head. Like, I thought that my mum was just going to like break down in tears and be like, I've waited for this this moment
Yeah.
forever. And actually, she was like, oh, well done.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, since she's been very, very supportive. But yeah, I've got to say that's just reminded me that's how I
thought
was.
they'd have secret party poppers like
Yeah.
behind the sofa, and they'd all
Like
go,
cannons.
yeah. And a banner would drop down from the ceiling. But no, they were like, oh, okay, well, sure, all right. I think, our reaction was very mediocre and underwhelming. Second question. Someone has said, how did you two meet? Scott slid into my DMs.
I did.
And we found out that we worked at the time within waving distance.
Yeah.
So we went for a non-alcoholic drink after work, which was lovely, and we got on like an absolute house on fire.
Yeah, we did. It was a good night. We actually, the reason that I DM'd you though was because I was trolled on your profile.
Yes.
So I can't remember what.
I remember. You'd commented something nice on one of my pictures. Yeah, don't make it out like I trolled you.
No, it wasn't you that trolled me.
Scott commented something nice on my pictures, and someone had said, oh, you never get back to people who DM you.
Yeah, and you don't do anything to help people that are in your situation.
Which is so like anti-Scott, because I watched Scott literally go through his DMs and reply to people. So he kind of said, I don't have a message from you. And she said, oh, sorry, wrong person.
I was devastated actually, and then that was what got us talking. So I'm actually secretly glad that you out there were mean to me.
Yeah.
Because it brought us two together, and we wouldn't be here today.
So that is how we met. The story of Millie and Scott, and now we see each other far too often. Far too often.
Nice doing business with you. Okay.
Yeah. Sequins
Sequin
everywhere.
crack. So the third question that we had was, did our friends mourn us? And I'm assuming that they mean by that, did they kind of miss the old drunk, messy, crazy versions of us? And I suppose, in short, my friends didn't really get the opportunity. And actually, I think we spoke about it in an Instagram Live last week, that actually I think my friends are probably a little bit more happy to come out with me now, because they know that it's not going to end in like a 12 or 14 hour bender, and they're going to need like 3 days off work to recover.
Yeah. I think I've spoken to my friends about it. I actually said to my friend, did you mourn me? And she said, at first I did, because I thought it meant the like end of fun, crazy. And my nickname was Generous Millie, because after a certain point I would just get my card out and buy everyone drinks. So I think they thought that they were going to have to start paying for their own drinks. So they kind of said, yeah, they did mourn me at first, but when they saw the impact on me, and they saw how happy I was, and they saw like how much better it was for them, you know, they have a designated driver. I always make sure they get home safely. They didn't have to put me in a taxi. They didn't have to end their night early and sit in a toilet with me crying. I think, you know, they did at first, and then as soon as they realised all the benefits, they were like, oh my God. Yeah. But we've actually discussed, haven't we? We want to throw ourselves it sounds a bit morbid and a bit sick, but a funeral for our drunk selves, to officially say goodbye to them. We think it's time now.
Yeah, like a celebration of us now.
Yeah.
But a see you later to the drunk twats that we were. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, what do you think? We don't want to, you know, we appreciate sobriety is such a serious subject, but we'd quite like to, you know, have an opportunity to say goodbye to our drunk selves. Maybe like rip up some of the old t-shirts that are covered in wine stains. More like a seance.
A seance?
You know?
Wow, okay.
Okay, witchcraft.
Interesting.
We're thinking of having a seance. Let us know what you think. And if you want to come around and burn anything, we'll do it in Scott's flat.
No, we won't.
We also want to catch you up, so we're going to always tell you what we're doing this week, so you can get to know our every move. And if you want to stalk us, you can. But not in real time. We'll have told you, and then you can go to all the places that we've been to after we've been to them. So this week's actually been a really busy one for us. On Monday, we went to an event in Dalston, which was Self-Care for the Sober Curious. So we listened to a great panel led by Janie Lee Grace, and it also had the guys from Rock Sober, who are incredible. They've just launched a non-alcoholic beer, and they also have a clothing and apparel brand, and they're just great. They're really nice guys. They actually weirdly live really near me, and you know, they're trying to make sobriety cool. They're trying to make it rock and roll, and we just think what they're doing is great. So they were on the panel, and then we have author Claire Pooley as well. So she was great. She's given us some great insights that I know that we've both discussed since. So we've taken it away from that. So we started off our week with that. And also Janie has her own podcast, which is The Alcohol Free Life. So I've appeared on it. So if you search Sober Girl Society, you'll be able to get that podcast. And Scott is actually recording for it
This Tuesday.
This Tuesday. So by the time this comes out, you'll be able to listen to Scott's one, I'm sure, as well, which is great. And speaking of podcasts, Scott's also done another fabulous podcast.
So yeah, it's from an initiative called The Man That Can by a guy called Lachlan Stewart in Australia. So I had to wait up.
You're global.
I'm global. I am global. And yeah, I had to wait up way past my bedtime on Thursday evening to record this, so that it was Lachlan's 9 a.m. but our 11 p.m. And we spoke about all things sobriety and kind of the aftermath of sobriety around finances and mental health and how it impacts relationships and stuff. So big shout out to Lachlan. And if you did want to listen to that, then it's The Man That Can podcast.
It's a great podcast and I'm very proud of them. And then on Friday we went to so Piston Head Lager have a non-alcoholic brew, so they were throwing an event to launch a new bike that they've had designed by
Vincent Summers.
And it was kind of, it's a smaller bike, you know, it's got a smaller engine, and it's kind of, they wanted to align it with their non-alcoholic brand to prove that light things, you know, just as exciting and just as cool as the heavier things. So we went there, which was really fun, and we did an Instagram live this morning, which will probably have gone by the time you see this. But I've saved it, so if anyone wants a copy, I can send it to you. And now we're recording our vlog. So that's what we've been up to
vlog.
this week. Oh, and I also launched, so Sober Girl Society have launched their badges. So this is sort of an initiative in a similar way that when you get on the tube, you know to give your seat to someone who's pregnant. This is going to be a way for, you know, you to identify other sober ladies. So I'll show you one. They're here. And they are currently on Etsy. We ship worldwide. So if you fancy getting one, no pressure. Get one, don't get one.
I've got one too.
Scott's got one.
It would rip this shirt if I wore it right now, so that's why I'm not wearing it.
I wear mine everywhere and I love it. So yeah, that's what we've been up to this week. You can catch Scott at The Boy Who Drank 2 on Instagram, and you can catch me at Sober Girl Society on Instagram. Are you on Twitter yet?
I'm not. I have a personal account, and
Watch
I
this
basically
space.
only use it to read tweets about celebrities, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I do that.
So yeah, I normally get trapped in a Twitter hole.
Yeah, I do that. I am on Twitter as Sober Girl Sock, but I don't know how to use Twitter, so it's not going very well. We're also on Facebook, again, not going very well. But you can mainly find us at Instagram. I hope you've enjoyed the Ab Fab vlog.
The first one ever.
Woo! We will be trying to make them quite, you know, a mixture of fun and serious topics.
Yeah.
We just wanted to give you a real sort of introduction to us this week.
Yeah, a little bit of flavour of what we're all about.
Flavour, like the Chilio.
Definitely not sponsored, I promise.
It's not, it's genuinely, I mean, it is a gift. They did give them to us, but we're not getting any money.
No.
That would be nice. We don't know if these are going to be weekly. We don't know if those are going to be monthly.
Let
We're
us
going to
know
try.
what you want.
Yeah, you tell us and we'll do everything. We'll give up our day jobs and we'll just make this vlog.
That would be nice.
That would be.
I'd love that.
What a lovely dream that would be. But we hope you've enjoyed being here. We always love getting to know you guys as well. So give us some facts.
Yeah, come at us with some questions on Instagram, as we've mentioned our handles previously. And yeah, just get in touch in general. And like Millie said, we'll listen to your feedback. And if we wanted to do this a weekly thing, then let us know. And if you want it to be less than weekly, then fine. Let us know if the length is too much or too big. There's no other way to say it. Let's know if it's too long or too short.
Yeah, we love hearing from you. We're very chatty people and we're bored of chatting to each other. So
Yeah, help me.
Help us!
Give us something to talk about that isn't us.
We want to hear your stories. We've told ours so many times now. We'd love to hear yours. Get different perspectives. How do you define yourself? How do you label yourself? What do you say to people who ask you why you're not drinking? We want to hear it all. So we really look forward to hearing from you. And we hope you enjoyed being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.